Hi, I'm Jennifer Flanders. I am a second grade teacher. I just finished my first year teaching. Last fall, what I remember the most is I lost my voice because I was trying to talk way too much. I learned quickly that the kids needed to talk in order to learn and for all of us to get through the day. So I decided to start incorporating cooperative learning. The first thing that I did, well, I have three examples. One was during a social studies / reading comprehension lesson. The passage was about the Transcontinental Railroad. My 8-year-old scholars did not understand this concept. So I thought, well, maybe a visual would help. I had two students stand up in front of our map of the United States, and I had grabbed the math manipulatives, which were these little links that we use, which they love to play with. I had one scholar, so I said, hey, you're company A. The other one is company B. And the question was, how did the companies work together to make the railroad a success? And so I said, look, you're building a railroad here, you're building a railroad here. They each had their links. They connected them, and then they all went, oh yeah, now we get it. And so I think the visual and the cooperative learning aspect of the lesson really helped them. My second example is when I use informal groups in my lessons. So I tried to incorporate whole brain teaching this year. This is something new that I've learned. It's when, obviously, I'm sure you know about it, the child needs to do movement, speaking, listening, all these different things help people remember what they've learned. So with whole brain teaching, part of it is to actually have them turn and talk and repeat what they've learned and actually mirror each other's movements. And I did that when I taught, like, for instance, parts of speech, like pronouns. I would say a pronoun takes the place of a noun in a sentence. When I did this, they turned and talked to each other, and they were able to actually recall the information. This turning and talking and mirroring each other helped as another form of cooperative learning. The third example is when I used role-playing for children to actually identify with feelings of people that experience certain things. So every month at our school we teach moral focus, and we are required to teach 3 15-minute lessons on moral focus weekly. Well, for the month of February, the moral focus is courage. I showed a video on the Chapel Hill 9. The Chapel Hill 9, you probably know, were 9 black men in Chapel Hill who were inspired to sit in at a drugstore on Franklin Street to protest racism. And my children, fortunately, haven't had to experience the extent of racism that the people did in the 50s and 60s. So in order for them to understand the amount of courage it took for these men to do this, I told everybody in the class, whoever was wearing a green shirt, they got to sit in the front row because they were smarter. They were better people. Everyone who was in white and blue shirts cried out, "This isn't fair. We are just as smart as the green shirt people." And I stopped and I said, now imagine, what would you do tomorrow? Would you all wear green shirts to school? And they said yes. And I said, well, imagine if your skin was green. And then they all thought for a second. And I said, that is how people who had darker skin who felt when they were treated unfairly. And that's why they were protesting. And by doing this, the kids really learned what courage was all about. They learned about the example. It wasn't just such a video that they couldn't connect with because it happened decades ago. And they actually went home and told their parents about it. So I know that cooperative learning was a success in this instance by doing the role play. So now that I'm done with my year of teaching, I plan to do some more year-long planning with more specific examples and different ways that I can engage kids with cooperative learning, but also other strategies. Thanks.